Hey guys, welcome back to Get Melevated. Thanks for tuning in. Glad you're here. Glad I'm still here. So, I wanted to talk about how starting this project, this channel project for me has been a really cool experience. And I know last video I talked about finding a new creative outlet. This video I'm going to be kind of talking about the importance of introducing new things into your life one at a time. It's really important because when you get too many things in the mix, too many new things in the mix at once, like yes, it's very good to try new things with experiences, but you know, life is delicate, like that energy is delicate. And for me, I find that if I'm doing too many new things at once and I start to feel like my energy getting sucked out a little bit more, it's sort of hard to pinpoint which new thing is causing me to feel what way, right? It's like when you're doing a recipe and you're like, okay, well, I know that I really kind of want to put some salt in this, okay? So, ding, 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 salt, delicious. You're like, whoa, but also I found that I really like this new spice mix too. Ding, 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 put the spice mix in there. But like without realizing that spice mix also already has salt. And now your food is too salty. And you're like, oh, crap. Okay, I just won't use the salt, which could work. But also like that salt might have been doing something for you alone on its own beautifully. And you didn't really need that spice mix. Maybe you just needed 2 of those spices from that mix. And now your palate is disrupted. It's kind of the same way with life. Same thing with vitamins too. I think a lot of people try so many things at once and they're like, I'm gonna take this vitamin and that vitamin and that vitamin. But maybe you only need like 2 of them, or 1, or none. I mean, everyone kind of needs vitamins these days. That's a tangent for another time. But, so the Temperance card is, for me, it feels like this card naturally describes this the best. It talks about, there's a lot going on in here, okay? So straight out the gate, I mean, this is an angel. Angels are amazing. They're very special and important. This angel, you can't really tell just by looking at it. It's very androgynous. So it's sort of demonstrating an equality of male and female energies together, which is like peaceful harmony. This is card all about balance. And you see those beautiful wings that are in those warmer tones, which signifies you being comfortable and grounded with yourself, your purpose, your stance, like the eye of you. You're just very sure. You're very sure of yourself and what you're doing. The wings, freedom, clearly. So beautiful. So the angel is actually, let me get my pointer. The angel has 1 foot in the water and 1 foot on land. The water represents the subconscious of our mind. I'm gonna use it to describe how I feel about it. It's my creative subconscious thinking, my new ideas, my new thoughts, like my new urges to want to try something or not. And then the foot on the land, this represents the material and concrete world. And when you have 1 foot in the water and 1 foot on the land, you're maintaining balance. When your subconscious is healthy, spiritually, mentally fit, and you also have 1 foot grounded, you're set up, like you're ready. You're ready to try something new, okay? Let's talk about the cups. This is kind of cool. So cups in tarot represent emotion, okay? And the fact that this angel has 2 cups and the water is flowing, like, we don't know. Can you see? Cool. Okay. We don't know if the water is flowing upward or downward. You're assuming it's downward, but either way, this angel is balancing out these cups, okay? And that's good because this is sort of like an infinity kind of symbolization, and infinity equals to spirit. We talked about this before, relating to our spirit, of just balancing out your cups emotionally. So what you're giving, the energy you're giving equates the energy that you're getting. So let's see, how can I simplify this even more? I have a friend, okay? And it is a beautiful, loving friendship. She comes to me when she needs something. I go to her when I need something. It is a give and take. It's a beautiful balance. We don't get exhausted from each other. And that is sort of like these cups. Like what I give to her, she gives back to me. And we both benefit from it mutually. It's very great and it's very beautiful. And that is really how all friendships and most relationships, that's how relationships should work. You know? That's a way to make sure that you are preserving yourself and are able to stand in this freedom of the I, okay? I am grounded, I am centered, I am ego balanced. Perfect, okay? So we can also incorporate this idea when we're introducing new things into our life, even if it's material things, like, hey, is this freaking cool brand new house, this awesome car, is this gonna upset my ego and cause me to feel a sense of spiritual bankruptcy? Is this gonna rip open the hole in my soul even further? I mean, material things, that's a whole other topic. I actually was talking about this with a friend a couple of weeks ago, and she asked, how do you feel about that? And my response was, it depends on where you're at in your soul's journey. Some people form sort of a codependence around status and material things. And for them, maybe the idea of practicing more of a minimal lifestyle is probably healthier until they mend that hole in the ego. But for others who see the bigger picture, sort of live more in like the fourth dimension mindset of the world and creativity, then kind of material things are just 3D manifestations of the side effect of living in that state. Let me simplify that a little more because that just got crazy, okay? My head just went in like 20 different places. So it's like when you're growing up, let's say your parents give you a chore list for money, right? Okay, so the universe gave me a chore list. Get it? You're completing the chores, you're getting your quarters weekly or whatever the heck your allowance was. Your parents' goal for doing that wasn't to employ you. It wasn't to give you a job for monetary value. It was to give you structure so that you're able to set up your lifestyle in the future when you grow up, that you don't, that like you're able to just do these things and recognize the value of them. You know, cleaning your room, making your bed first thing in the morning. Like you're making something upon waking. Like creating upon awakening, I've come to realize is really important, which is actually one of the reasons why I really like to do makeup. It's like something I do first thing in the morning, and it's just a way to just boost that creativity through the day. You know, it sets me up for a mindset that I want to live in and I want to be about. Same thing happens with universe. So universe presents opportunity, a chore list. It's like, not a chore. Well, kind of. It's sort of like chores for your soul. And if you're following it, it's going to give you things in return. And honestly, it really will. And it can manifest on the physical plane too, in ways of finance. Sometimes it's romance. It's kind of like, hey, if you would do this for yourself, because really it's for the whole of humanity, I'm going to reward you in a way, you know? And it's totally cool to play in that aspect. I think it's totally cool and normal. It's actually great. When you start to think about life in that way, so much simpler than just the constant state of wanting, which actually is going to push you back farther. It's more just like a game and like a challenge. And it's like, ooh, yay, can I do this? Ooh, let's see what happens if I work on this and what happens with that. Totally flips the script, right? So I think the Temperance card is all about balancing these things though, because it's really hard to stay humble when you're starting to get gifted with all the stuff. But don't worry, because we know about the checks and balance system of the universe, and you'll definitely have temptations and challenges in your life. I do. I'm sure everyone does. But that checks and balance system is there so that you don't go too far off the path if you're working on spiritual work within yourself, okay? So you might get rewarded and then it'll pull back and you'll get rewarded less and you'll notice it. And then your ego's going to get bumped down and you're like, oh man, I was doing so good. What happened? Like, what did I change? Which is why it's really important to add one thing into the recipe at a time. And once you realize the benefit of what something is doing for you, You can add another thing if you think that you're lacking in another area and you need more fulfillment in a certain way. Like, there are many different outlets of life that we can feel pleasure and pain from. And that's just kind of what I wanted to talk about. I think it's really important to know. So for today's look, I am going to be dipping back into Miss Tati. You guys, I honestly have been mildly obsessed with this. I just like love the way it works. And this look right here, it's that very like neutral pink beat, you know, that you see a lot. But I mean, this is how I learned like the basics of what I know, and just kind of going back to the stuff that I know that works for me. I just wanted to demonstrate how I think that's really important to keep in my utility belt and in my life tool belt. Like, my life tool belt. Whoa. That's corny. Whatever. So, let's get into it. All right, well, that's all I have this week for this look and information. As always, if you try it, let me know below. And I hope you have a really good week. Bye.